my name is Nuriza Atira binti Zagina Anaya Sulaiman. So today I will present about the introduction. So, a leader is a person with the power to manage the affairs of a team, organization or nation. Someone with the knowledge and skill to successfully manage a group is a leader. In general, leaders are able to manage team and complete tasks. True leaders also are able to unite their followers, directing them toward common objective while also influencing their attitudes, belief, and behavior. Leaders are also a member of society since society as a whole determines whether a person is qualified to take a position of leadership or not. You won't ever become a leader if others don't look up to you. This can be explained by the fact that leaders become apparent when they enjoy broad support from their constituents. An individual who participates in party politics or who has previously sought for public office is referred to as a political leader. Politicians are in charge of crafting the law that control the nation and consequently its populace. A politician is someone who aims to influence the government using political method in the widest sense. In Malaysia, the Prime Minister and the Yang di-Pertuan Agong are both recognized as the nation's formal heads of state. We live in a constitutional monarchy which explains why things are how they are. The king under a constitutional monarchy shares authority with a legally established government rather than having absolute power. The king may serve as the de facto head of state under this system or only as a somber figurehead. In the meanwhile, the prime minister serves as the head of state. In order for the people of Malaysia to democratically choose which party they wish to form the government, a general election must be held. A general election is held when all or nearly all the seats in the legislative body are up for election. Election for the primary legislative body of each country, state or territory are different from by-election in this regard. Malaysia typically has one term of general election every 5 years. The next government will be formed by the party with the most votes. Typically, the winning party's leader is chosen to serve as a prime minister. For the second one is background of Tun Hussein Onn. On 12 February 1922, Tun Hussein Onn, Malaysian third elected prime minister, was born. It was expected that he would leave the public sector and pursue politics because he came from a long line of nationalists. The United Malays National Organization was founded by his father, Dato' Onn bin Jaafar. Later, Tun Hussein Onn switched sides to work with his father to form the Independence of Malaya Party. He took a temporary break from politics to attend law school in London, where he was later enrolled as a barrister. As soon as he got back to Kuala Lumpur, he started practicing law. But Tun Hussein destiny had other plans. When Tun Abdul Razak was the Prime Minister in 1975, he persuaded him to return to politics. Tun Hussein Onn campaigned for office in 1969 and finally was appointed Minister of Education. After serving as Tun Abdul Razak Deputy, he was ultimately elected Prime Minister of Malaysia following Razak passing. The living moniker Father of Unity was given to former Malaysian Prime Minister Tun Hussein Onn for his relentless work to advance in inter-ethnic cooperation throughout his tenure in office, to alleviate racial and ethnic inequities in economic opportunity. He implemented a variety of policies. In 1981, he launched the National Unit Trust scheme as well as the Neighborhood Watch program Rukun Tetangga. Due to health issues, Tun Hussein resigned from his political position in 1981. He continued to donate to charity and other worldwide organizations even after he retired. The Tun Hussein Onn hospital was established with significant help from him. His effort to unite Malaysians from all walks of life prepare the foundation for the multicultural, multi-ethnic Malaysian we know today. So that's all from me. I will pass it to my friends. Thank you.
My name is Nur Aisha Azian, student ID 2019831394. I will continue on the issue that Tun Hussein faced during his ruling. There are three issues that have been highlighted. The first one is regarding Datuk Harun Idris' case. Datuk Harun was the president of UMNO Youth and he had the support of a sizable number of UMNO's members. He is also remembered as a staunch supporter of Malay rights and he was essentially the traditional Malay heroes. But regrettably, his involvement in the Bank Rakyat losses resulted in his corrupted activities. He was then eliminated from his positions as Selangor Menteri Besar. Furthermore, the government filed criminal breach of trust charges against Harun, imprisoning him for 2 years. Due to Harun's victory in the UMNO Supreme Council as a result of UMNO's members' protest, such issue was brought to Hussein's attention. Harun's supporters begged for his release, but he was expelled from UMNO. Tun Hussein Onn received a great deal of criticism after handling Datuk Harun Idris very rigidly on the principle of law, particularly from UMNO's members. This made him unwelcome within UMNO, and it can be seen that it is solely likely to fit that Tun Hussein take actions against anyone who commits or gets involved in the corruptions, because corruptions can only be curtailed when officials take a strict stand and impose adequate penalties. The second issue is regarding factionalism in UMNO. Due to various Hussein Onn inadequacy, UMNO's factional conflict grew stronger, and a result of this content grew to the point where Tun Razak formed a faction within UMNO. Following Tun Razak's death, UMNO confronted a challenging situation with the old guards proceeding all out to depose the politician who had surged through the late Premier Cronism. Afterwards, UMNO members criticized Hussein Onn's actions to eliminate the two most senior leaders and appoint Dr. Mahathir as Deputy Prime Minister at the time. Thus, this led to Kuli, a former member of the House of Representatives Malaysia, and Ghaffar Baba, a former Deputy Prime Minister of Malaysia, to join the old guards. On the contrary, he had also summoned three ministers, namely Abdullah Ahmad Badawi, Abdullah Majid, and Abdul Samad Idris, again whom another group later made an accusations of communist influence in the administrations. He relied on Ghazali Shafi, the Home Affairs Minister, who was swayed by Lee Kuan Yew's claim that Samad was involved with communists. As a necessary consequence, Hussein Onn was criticized for being duped by his advisors. The third issue is the Islamic revivalism. Islamic revivalism is regarded as a form of activism aiming to establish the Muslim world's existing order, whether autocratic or direct democracy. The Islam Da'wah was growing in size and they had planned to spread the doctrines and a pure Islamic ways of life. These Da'wah organizations, on the other hand, were actively a part of the world and had endorsed their goals through political jihadism. As a result, the government faced threats and challenges as the number of Da'wah had been increasing ever since then. Most Malays joined this group because they are led by the new Malay intellectuals. Nonetheless, that even the government had used coercions and confrontations against them. During the time, Tun Hussein Onn agreed with Tunku Abdul Rahman that Malaysia ought not to be transformed into an Islamic state and that the country can maintain its status as a secular nation with Islam being its official religion. Next, I will continue on the achievement during Tun Hussein Onn ruling. There are three achievements that have been highlighted. One is regarding foreign affairs. Tun Hussein made contributions to foreign policy, securing a non-aggression pact with Vietnam after meeting with Soviet President. He also signed the Quantum Principle, which prohibited him from intervening in Southeast Asia from negotiating a political solution to the Kampuchean dispute. The Tun Hussein Onn Chair in International Studies, on the other hand, was established in recognition of Malaysia's third Prime Minister's significant contributions to the development of the country's foreign policy. It was established to carry on the late Tun Hussein Onn inspiring initiative and to work towards making Asia the focus point of Malaysia's foreign policy. Asia's existence was prevented disputes between its members. Furthermore, the country can achieve rapid and widespread cooperation in the social and economic fields. So Malaysians have been instilled with the principle of the other countries' integrities and sovereignty in order to prevent the peace from all the countries. The second achievement is regarding racial harmony. Tun Hussein Onn is also known as Unity Father. In Malaysia, he is a very disciplined and a strict person when it comes to racial issues. Furthermore, he is a leader with a high level of tolerance who is also concerned with the interests of the people and the country. He wishes for good relations between all levels of society and the promotions of Malaysia's identity to everyday life. Throughout Tun Hussein Onn prime ministership, he prioritized the harmony of life in a multiracial society and the well-being of all citizens. Through political, economic, and the administrative itself actions, he even emphasized the issue of unity. The reorganizations of society aim to re-establish the true directions of the country in accordance with the historical facts. Through this reorganization step, all these will be able to form understanding and instill a harmonious attitude in their relationship with one another of Malaysia's plurality society. The last achievement that has been highlighted is regarding the national education policy. Tun Hussein Onn served as Minister of Education in 1970s, with Tun Abdul Razak as Malaysia's Prime Minister at the time appointed him. Tun Abdul Razak chose him because Tun Hussein Onn was the only choice for Malaysian 1970s political climate in Malaysia. When he became Education Minister, he instituted the National Education Policy. He has pledged his full support for the national education policy success, and this policy was implemented to strengthen the unity among Malaysians of various races. He also used an education system in which only one medium of instruction is used to achieve racial unity. Education, in his opinion, is one of the most important approaches to achieving the goals of the new economic policy. Tun Hussein Onn is a person who takes his work seriously, so he makes significant contributions to the country. In an effort to elevate the status of education, he portrayed as a very sincere individual in his struggle in the field of education. The Ministry of Education expanded and prospered during his tenure. That is all from me. I will give to my next group members. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Zulaika binti Ansar, metric number 2022-884152. Moving on to the next part, which is value judgment. During his tenure as Prime Minister, Tun Hussein Onn was probably deeply concerned with leadership responsibilities. It wasn't easy on his serious shoulders, and it wasn't full by the equally deep sense of duty that had been passed down from his father to his son. Throughout his life, he developed a very old sense of what duty demanded. Lived on the basis he had a great sense of duty toward his father, mother, wife, children, and friends, to his country especially. I am an old soldier, he once told. At the military academy in Dehradun, where Tun trained during the war, there was an inscription on the wall that read, "The safety, honor, and well-being of the men under your command are always first, and your own safety, comfort, and well-being are always first." He put the nation ahead of himself. Second value judgment is, as Prime Minister since 1976, Tun Hussein Onn has led largely peaceful coalition with political parties in China and India despite ongoing racial tensions and difficulties with communist rebels. He also staunchly opposed immigration of Vietnamese refugees to Malaysia, strengthened Malaysia's role in the accession of Southeast Asian nations, and lobbied for Brunei to join his ASEAN. When heart problem forced him to resign in 1981, he named Datuk Seri Mahathir bin Mohamad as his successor, but in 1988, he begged a rival group's challenge to Mahathir. Furthermore, this is exactly what Malaysian stands for, the spirit of solidarity and unity that Tun Hussein Onn Jaafar intended for the nation. It gives me, his grandson, the strength and hope to move forward. This is all the more important today when the country is mired in an atmosphere of feminism. It's easy to get stuck in the endless cycle of negativity. In his first 3 weeks of 2022 alone, countless rhetorical and racist remarks were made. These actions have been reinforced by politicians on both sides, fueling public anxiety and fatigue. This must end. Looking back, Onn Jaafar spent his entire life fighting for the welfare of his people. That was his main job. In the mid-1950s, he founded his Rural and Industrial Development Agency, which is RIDA, which later grew up into Majlis Amanah Rakyat, which is MARA. His goal was to rebuild rural communities, especially to Bumiputra, and improve the economy of the community. He fought hard to ensure that rural community had the best possible education to ensure a better future. As for conclusion, Tun Hussein Onn is known as the father of unity because he succeeded in fostering his closest spirit of multi-ethnic unity in Malaysian society. Tun Hussein Onn inherited the UMNO leader from his father and faithfully carried out the development program devised by his friend. People are being asked to build resilience and unity to move forward. Understanding the environment and customs of other races is a pillar of unity. Overall, Tun Hussein Onn was a tall yet compelling leader. He stood out as one of them. We should be proud to have him as a Prime Minister. The next Prime Minister can learn a lot from his personality.